Good evening. Hello, everybody. How are we all doing? I hope your week's been good so far, and I hope you've been doing lots of lovely crafty stuff. Please let me know in the comments if you are with me and if you can hear me, because that would be marvellous, and it's always good to know. So let me know if we've cracked these gremlins. I'm a little bit early because I just wanted to make sure things were going to work. So hopefully you're all getting in there and we can soon start tonight's live. Kathleen, pleasure to have you with us again. Thank you for joining me. Anybody else out there? Hi, Rosie. Oh, good. I'm glad it's working. That's always a good start. It's such a relief. Hi, Portia. Hope you're well. Yeah, it's such a relief when things work. Let's hope that continues. Let's not jinx it. So, how is everybody? Have we had a lovely crafty week? Hello, Heather. Lovely to have you here again. I hope you're well and surviving over there. Hello, Sharon. Hi, Jamie. Glad you've managed to join us and you're not shut up in a little room somewhere, as we often are. I'm really looking forward to tonight because, as you probably know, this particular Thursday is our Stockist launch for the new Sue Wilson Windows collection, which we launched on Hobby Maker on Sunday, and it was really well received. You all seem to be thoroughly enjoying it. I've certainly had and still am having a lot of fun with it. It's such a lovely creative collection. It really lets you get stuck in and think about outside the box about how you're going to put these little scenes together, and I've had great fun. I'm still buzzing with ideas, which is a good job because I need to do some more when I go to Unicorn Crafts at the end of the month. Hi Heather, hi Emma. Oh, well done you. What a treat. Hi Laura. Oh, Jamie. Come out of your box. You're allowed out once in a blue moon. Yeah, so as I say, it's launching to the Stockists. Well, it launched to the Stockists on Tuesday, so we're just a little bit after that. But if you're wanting to track it down with your local Stockist, I have a list of those who have ordered this collection and do have it in their sticky little mitts. So I'll be letting you know who's got it later on once everybody's had time to join in. So hi Jasmine, hi Bethan. Yeah, and it has gone out to quite a lot of the stockists. So, and we've got some new stockists as well. So it's all very exciting. It's all happening. And I'm really, really pleased to be able to run through this collection again because it's grown on me immensely and I just love it. So I have been playing, making lots of little scenes and things with it and trying to come up with different things. So yeah, I have a lot to show you. Hopefully some of you would have seen me on Sunday, picked up some tips, maybe learned a little bit more about how to incorporate all the bits and pieces. Hello Diane, lovely, how are you? Hope you're okay. So it's one of those, once you get your head around it, I think it's got way more to it than you first perhaps think. I mean, you might have seen me talking about even the one window. I've got some samples. I'll show you. The DT have done an amazing job. Hi Jana. Hi Kath. showing how the window can be used in different ways as well, really being creative with it. So I'm going to go through all the samples with you tonight, lots of inspiration. If I've time, I've got some demos ready as well. And yeah, hopefully just spark your interest and your creativity a little bit more. So, what have I got to tell you? Well, obviously I'm here tonight. Jamie will be with you on Monday for his Monday Night Natter, and I think I'm right in saying that it will be a sneaky peek. Oh, that's good, Diane. Hi, Maureen. Sneaky peek of a new collection. Yes, another one, and it's gorgeous. Hi, Kim. You okay? So that's to look forward to Monday at 7. I'll be back next Thursday with a playtime. Now, I've tried to do this 3 times now, so if this one doesn't happen, I might be screaming and rocking in a corner somewhere. But hopefully we're going to be doing a playtime. And what I'd like you to do is have a think. If there's anything you'd like me to show you, keep it relevant, please, to Jamie Rogers Crafts and Creative Expressions, etc. But if there's something you have tried perhaps and aren't getting on with, if you want to know something specific, how to use something, or if you just need a bit of inspiration with something you've got and you're a bit stuck with, then that's the day to get your questions in between now and then, so I'll have time to prep some response to what you've asked me, because I can't just pluck it out of a hat. You know, I know I'm good, but I'm not that good. Joking. Hi Sandra, hi Jackie. So yeah, if there's anything you've got a burning question, or you just want some inspiration, or you just need to know how to use something, then this is the time. So pop your questions in on the Creative Expressions page between now and next Wednesday, shall we say, and then I can get onto that, and hopefully we'll have a fantastic playtime next Thursday for next Thursday Night Natter. So we will put a post up as well to remind you on the Creative Expressions page and on the Gwen Fletcher Crafts page if you follow me there, so we can get that subject matter rolling, hopefully. Hi Sheila. All right, so back to tonight then, and this collection, oh, I've got questions on the brain now. This collection is beautiful. It's from Sue Wilson, and it's simply called Windows. And yeah, as we've said, it's full of potential. So shall we have a look? And as we've said, this is for the Stockists tonight. So this is our Stockist launch. We're celebrating our wonderful Stockists who are coming on board and getting involved with Creative Expressions, Jamie Rogers Crafts, woodware, crafty concoctions, and more to come. So let's have a look at this one. So we have 8 die sets, and this is the first, and obviously this is the key because this is the window. So this is a decent sized die. It's 4.4 by 5.6 inches. If you're on the metrics, it's 11.2 by 14.3, and when it's cut, it has lots of embossed detail. You can just see it's got a line around here, and it's got lines around just like a window would have. It's really good. All the dies have got fantastic detail, I have to say. So one pass through the machine and that happens. Absolute magic. So this is your initial window, which is going to set you back $15.99. Some of you retailers might have some deals on offer for you. I don't know, you'll have to take that up with them. Next we have the window dressings. Now this one is really super because we've got the window box here. We've got this piece which is a shutter, so obviously cut 2 to make your shutters. I've also been using this as a radiator, and I'll show you some examples of that. And then you've got all your little floral elements. You've got lots of foliage and 2 different types of blossoms, each in 3 sizes. And those all come connected on one die, so, you know, makes it slightly less hazardous for losing them. Hi Louise. This one is $14.99, and when this one's cut, this is the sort of thing. Now obviously, as I say, the window comes separately, but I did it like this so that you could see how these elements go with the window. So you've got your pair of shutters, you've got your window box. That could also just simply be a trough, you know, a flower trough or something like that. And then you've got your lovely little blossoms and your spiky flowers and your foliage. Technical term that, spiky flowers. Alright, so that's your window dressings, and that's RRP of $14.99. Next we have the living room. The living room is all your elements that you need for looking into somebody's window, being a nosy Parker. And when these are cut, this is what these are going to look like. So again, lots and lots of embossed detail. Look at that fabric effect on the chair. Look at the pleats on the standard lamp. The numbers on the clock. I mean, it's fabulous. And this picture, it's got all the elements, and you just need to pick them out with a little bit of colour. Then you've got candlesticks and vases, books and a lamp, and this is a flower so that you can put flowers in your vase. And we've got this fabulous candelabra as well. So all of that is going to cost you $14.99. There are 13 dies in the set. Brilliant value, in my opinion. Then we come on to the windowsill accessories. So these are the sorts of things you can put on the windowsill, perhaps if you're looking out of the window to the outside and the perspective and the scale changes. So these things are slightly bigger. So these could be used to look out of the window. We've got our fabulous little cat here, various vases and flowers and containers, and a lovely little coffee mug as well. And again, fabulous embossed details. Oh, well done, Portia. I think you might be going back for some more. In fact, I'm pretty sure you will. So here we've got the vases, the cat. Is that the one you've got? Hi, Emma. Hope you're all right, lovely. Oh, excuse me. So this is your windowsill accessories, and this one is $12.99. You've got 11 dies. You've got all these little blossoms here, but again, they all come on one die, so you're not going to be losing them too badly, hopefully. I would recommend putting these onto magnetic sheets and then storing them in the packets or in pockets of some description. There is no fail-safe way of keeping them completely safe, but that's your best option. So that's your windowsill accessories. Did I give you the price? $12.99 for that one. Then we've got the fabulous swing tree. I love this one. This is really versatile because although it's called swing tree and we've got our lovely swing tyre and the rope to hang it from, the tree can give you options to use all year round. You have the canopy for the tree, and you have a smaller twiggy branch thing here which you could extend the tree with, or you can turn that into a bush. Then you've got a clump of grass, sorry, various foliage and flowers. These little things here are leaves, and if you have a look at here, you can see there are spots where those fit in. So if you want to cut this in one colour of green and these in a darker green and then put them into where they belong, it makes it easy to do. You've also got a little bird's nest, a bird and some eggs and a squirrel. You've even got a garden rake. So this is the swing tree. So you can have the swing tree, obviously with its tyre on there, if you wish. But you can use any combination. Hi Angela, thanks for joining us. And also, all of these sets cross-match between each other, as you will see from some of the fabulous samples. So this is your swing tree, and this one is $14.99, and there are 15 dies in that set. Okay, so if you were on the fence, excuse the pun, about any of those, hopefully this might just help you make your mind up. Next, we've got the garden accessories. Talking of a fence, we have the lovely little fence here. There are 9 dies in this set, so this is a nice dinky little set, and this one is $10.99, and when these are cut, this is what they look like. I don't know why I left a big gap up there, but it was just the way I did it. So you've got your picket fence, your bicycle, some tiny little tulips and some leaves, the kite with the bows to go on the tail, the lovely birdhouse and a little bird up there as well. So all of those. Yes, Emma, that tree will see you right through every season. Honestly, I've seen it done every which way and it's fabulous. So yes, garden accessories, £10.99 with 9 dies in that particular set. And then we come on to our autumn set. 19 dies in this one. This one is £14.99, and you have everything in here to build up your autumn scene. So we've got our lovely little scarecrow. We've got ears of corn. We've got sunflowers and stems and centres. Apples and little tiny leaves to put on the apples. We've got pumpkins, acorns, autumn leaves, mushrooms, a spade or a shovel, and a basket and a handle, which is really fabulous. And this one is £14.99 as well. And these are what they look like when they are cut out. This set, when I started using this, it took me right back to my childhood. Honestly, when I was a little girl, I didn't have a proper doll's house, but I used to use cardboard boxes and make rooms. And I used to use scraps of carpet and wallpaper and cut doors and windows and make curtains and do all this sort of thing. And this just took me straight back there. It was amazing. Yeah, quite nostalgic. So I really loved these. So we've got all the little elements there, as you can see. Even the tiny leaves have got a little bit of embossed detail on them. Just superb. So 19 dies, £14.99 for that one. And then last but not least, taking us right through the year and into Christmas as well, we have our Christmas scene. 15 dies for this one. We've got an amazing fireplace with the flames to go in it. We've got bows. We've got bows that fit over the parcels, which is genius because you can cut them in a different colour and then just stick them on top. You've got your stocking to hang on your fireplace. You've got your candy cane, your Christmas tree, your snowman with his eyes and buttons and nose, holly, a lovely wreath and some stars. And any of those bits can decorate the wreath or the tree. So 15 dies in this one. This one again is £14.99, and here are all the bits and pieces cut out. Oh, Maureen, kindred spirit. Oh yes, Kim, thanks for reminding me. I'll come back to that in a bit. So that's your Christmas scene, and that's your last set in the series. So absolutely beautiful. Now let me show you some inspiration. I want to start with some which feature a mixture of the die sets. Okay, because it's really clever the way all these have been done. I've got a lot that came from Sue herself as well, which is really lovely always to have Sue's work. And here we've got the living room accessories teamed up with the cat and the mug that have come from the windowsill accessories. And she's put this in one of her shadow box dies. I love these dies because sometimes when you don't know what to do, it just gives you little areas to place something and it suddenly makes it really easy. So that's a nice combination. And then I've got one here from Laura, our lovely Laura, on the design team. And I love what Laura's done, and I would never have thought of doing this. She's taken out the middle struts and turned it into patio doors. How clever is that? And then we've got the living room accessories here, dressing the room. And outside we've got the swing tree, but it looks to me like a spring day. We've got birds' eggs in the nest and the little blackbird looking on. And we've got that lovely little garden fence. Don't they all work well together? and a little bit of inking in the background and some little techniques, some of the ones you've seen me do to create skies and things like that is such fun. And here we've got a lovely one, and I believe this was Sharon, and Sharon's turned the window into a greenhouse. I love it, absolutely brilliant. So she's taken half the window, I think, yes, half the window, and then she's used the bottom edge of the window sill, to cut and create the roof lines. And we've got these fabulous flowers absolutely thriving in the greenhouse. And we've got the swing tree, and we've got the little bush, we've got the fence, and we've got the bike and the bird. So there's a mixture of 3 different sets there at least. And I absolutely love that. I think that's absolutely fabulous. There's another one from Sharon. Again, mixing and matching across the sets. This time we have our living room accessories. We've got our fireplace and our snowman from the Christmas set, and we've got our swing tree. We've got the shutters on the window this time, which is really lovely. And then this is from Sharon again. Sharon did a lot of mixing and matching. I love this one, Sharon. It's fabulous. And we have some of Jamie's matting and layering dies in the postage stamp rectangles. And then we've got the 3 little triptychs, or a triptych made up of 3 panels, with the garden fence and the sunflowers, and some lovely inky cloudy background there. And that's quite simple, really, once you've seen it done. You think, oh yeah, I didn't think of doing it. That's how it goes, isn't it? That's what's so lovely about all this inspiration. Now here's one which just features the window and the cat. And then this is Laura again, and what she's done, she's used a starry stencil and the glitter texture paste to create a starry sky and the moon, and use some wordies to put the sentiment that she wants on there. Isn't that lovely? And so different. And then we've got one here from Ian, and Ian's done a bit of a combo as well. We've got the garden fence, we've got these fabulous sunflowers, and you can see how handy it is to have the centres separate, because you can really create that lovely contrast. And then we've got just one panel of the windows making a smaller window, and a bit of a window box here as well. The cat's asleep in the window, as they do, and the lights are on inside. I wonder who's home, if anybody. So, as I say, more versatile than at first glance might give you. Another one from Ian here, and I think this is absolutely fabulous. We've got a high-rise block of flats, look, apartments, and we've got everybody's different windows going on. Isn't that clever? So here we've got a little squirrel cheekily sitting in the window box. He's turned the lamp upside down to use as a ceiling light, which I think is genius. And we've got the vase and some flowers, and then here we've got some wallpaper, some more accessories from the living room. Then we've got a lovely chandelier, and we've got some curtains and some little tie backs on these. And that, the tie back, has been made with the ribbons from the parcels in the Christmas set. Amazing, isn't it? And here we've got a lovely little cat. We've got some tartan curtains, and we've got some lovely embossed wallpaper done with an embossing folder, I'm guessing. Beautiful, aren't they? So there we go. Now, I must tell you this before I forget. I'm coming back. Hello. Sue's blog is back. Sue Wilson has reinstated her blog. It is at Party Craft as it was before. So if you look for Party Craft spelt with an I, not a Y, she's back, and she is posting every day. She posted a lot last week when she launched it. I think it was the 18th it was launched. Was it the 18th? Anyway, it's quite recent. No, the 17th. And she's posting, and she's using this collection at the moment. So again, if you want to see some of Sue's examples and find out how she's done them, that's the place to go and look. So please do investigate Sue's blog, Party Craft. And it's just fabulous to have it back. It is such an incredible resource of inspiration and knowledge. As we know, Sue is genius, and she's just a star. So do check that out as well, because that's fabulous. All right, so back to our inspiration. Let's have a look at some more examples. I'm going to whiz through these a bit more quickly now because we have seen these. They've been on TV. I sure do a lot last week, and I don't want to keep you all night. So let's just flick through. I'll give you brief details. So here we've got the full window effect with the shutters, the window box, lovely curtains cut from spotty paper. Find out your border dies or things that have a nice border and make pelmets. I think that's lovely, that one. And then the little blossoms and leaves, just cut lots and lots. You can sit and do it in front of the TV or whatever when you've nothing much else on. Oh, thanks. We've got a link up to Sue's blog there. So it's on Blogspot. I think it is where it was before. But anyway, if you search for Party Craft with an I, you will find it. But there's the link should you need it. All right. And then this was something that I really enjoyed seeing, which was a scene completely created outside the box, not using anything from the collection. We've got some die cut Christmas trees, we've got a mountain scene, a moon, some snow, we've got the Aurora Borealis with some fabulous sparkly products here, and just the window. Then we've got another painted scene here with the window, the swing tree featuring there, and oops, the tulips have got a bit battered. Tulips in a vase, and the cat from the windowsill accessories. So as you can see, when you put them on the inside of the window, the scale is more in keeping. Then we've got this one, which is again, it's either stamped or hand painted, the scene, and we've got the shrubs from the swing tree. And I really like this one. This one's from Ian. And he's used the winter scene dies from Rodney and his family collection, which came out in July last year, I believe. And he's created that beautiful winter scene outside the window. So that's the window, mainly focused on just using the window on its own. And it just shows that you can use that with lots and lots of stuff that you've already got, as well as with this fabulous collection. Next, we're going to have a look at the window dressings specifically. So here's one from Laura, and Laura's used some beautiful Mediterranean blue shutters. Lots of elements from the windowsill accessories and also from the living room. And we have this one, which is from Ian, and I like the sort of seaside-y vibes of this one with the blue and white, the shutters, and that lovely tree. It's just gorgeous, isn't it? When you put the canopy of leaves on there, it really comes alive. We've got our hanging swing with the tyre, and we've got our bird sitting on the nest. This one is from Sharon, and Sharon has done something which we can all do, which is use what's in our stash. She's picked up the Fairy Tale Castle from the Architectural Collection. We've got the window box, and it's absolutely stuffed with all those beautiful blossoms. So that's lovely to do as well. And then this one's from Laura, and Laura's given us a beautiful window with a net curtain, or a voile, if you're posh. We've got the window box, and we've got lots of little flowers. We've also got some creeping flowers hanging down the wall, and I think that's absolutely super. And what she's done to get this effect is actually inked onto the die itself. So she's inked, because these dies have got raised surfaces. Let me show you what I mean, if I can find the right one. Bear with me a sec. Here we go. So if you have a look at that, you can see it's got raised surfaces, which are what give you the embossing. So it stands to reason you can put ink on those. So tap your ink pad, and then when you cut it through the machine, it will ink at the same time. And that's how she's got this effect on the window as well, and on the window box. I think that's absolutely brilliant. And doesn't it look effective? Gorgeous. Okay, so that was the window dressings. And now I'm going to move on to the living room set. I've got a lot for this one, so let's just whiz through. You can see again lots of the other elements featuring, and again border dies are brilliant for creating pelmets or net curtains or voiles or whatever you want to call them. We've got the living room chair and all the bits and pieces there. In fact, all of these I think mostly feature the living room. So another one here with the window box, and we're looking in through the window, and we've got the living room accessories and just one that's from the windowsill accessories. Then we've got another one here showing all the living room accessories. This one I kept raving about. I could rave about all of them, but this one, because it's just so clever. This is Ian, and he's cut the window down so it's just got the bottom two panes to make a shorter window, which works so well. And then this one he's made from half the window, cut it down the middle, and then he's taken the panels that have come out of here and turned them into panels on the door. I just think that's such a clever idea. Love it. And again, shows how versatile these are. This one's from Ian again. There's a lot of brick walls, stencils, embossing folders, all that sort of thing that you can incorporate into this to make your outside walls. We've got the vines creeping down. That's all done with the foliage that's available in these sets. And we've got our living room accessories there as well. This one is from Sue Wilson herself. I love this, very smart with the navy and the navy and white and all those lovely living room accessories. But we've got a little snowman who's sneaked in there, which is really cute. And then finally from Sharon we have this one with the window box, all the lovely spring blooms, and we're looking in again to the living room, and we've got a little piece of ribbon creating a voile or a blind there at the top. Isn't that lovely? So that's your living room. Then we come to the windowsill accessories. So if you remember, these are the slightly larger scale, because if we're inside looking out, we're closer to things, aren't we? So we've got bigger things. But some of these you could just use on their own. I mean, that just on a small card with a greeting would be lovely, wouldn't it? Or it'd be nice for a sympathy card if you really needed one. You could do lots of different things with these elements because they're that little bit bigger. And then we've got our little cat, and we've got Jamie's Christmas dies coming in to create a lovely Christmas scene outside the window there. Here we have those elements again. The cat's outside, the vase on the table, and then a little shelf. That's lovely, isn't it? With a plant on it as well. Really cool. Another clever idea from Ian. He's created the potting shed. So he's got all his saplings and plants growing in the potting shed. Various containers happening as well. And then another one from Sue, showing again the vase of tulips, the little cat, and we've got the garden set creeping in there as well. So again, hi Tracy, hi Jackie, glad you've made it. Alright, then we're going to come on to the swing tree. Okay, this is fabulous because it just gives you those summer vibes, and I really like this. This was from Laura, and she's turned this into a hinged card with the window creating the front of the card. Isn't that just lovely? And then we've got our tree with a little squirrel and the hanging tyre, some flowers, the kite's off on its way. And this also shows you can do any of these without the window. You can just make scenes with these if that's what you want it to do. But it is genius having that window, isn't it? And then we've got this one from Sue with the swing tree outside. This time we've got the bird's nest, the little squirrel, and the birdhouse from the garden, and the little bird up there. And then we've got that lovely tree. Obviously you can put it more than one, and it's been snipped so it looks different, and we've got different things happening around that one. Then we have a beautiful scene, a beautiful summer day, with that's from one of Sue's older die collections. And then we've got trees, and we've also got shrubs, and we've got a little squirrel down there. And then this one, which again, we've got two of the trees, we've got the fence this time coming in, and we've got the kite up there as well. So that was the swing tree. Then we have the garden accessories. Oops, I'm getting in a pickle now. Oh, it's all going so well. Alright, so this one from Laura, using a triple aperture die. These are available. Hi Sue, glad you could join us. Yeah, so these dies are still available. There are some of them, probably with some of your stockists, if you want to track them down. These are the scalloped trio apertures, and you get an external scallop emboss, and you get an internal scallop if you map them two together. That's two separate sets of dies. But here we've got all the little garden accessories popping in. Again, team it up with the tree. We've got the fence, the bike, the kite from the set. And there again, turning that window on its side, and just adding an extra, cut the windowsill separate and add it on the other end so it balances. Really lovely. Again, turning it onto its side, and we've got that lovely summer scene. And here again, this one's from Ian, and this one is from Sue. So that's your garden accessories. Okay, so if we have any stockists with us tonight, it is all about you. So if you would like to pop your contact details, your website links in the comments so that our customers can find you when they're trying to track down these fabulous products. Okay, I'll give you the list of who's got them in just one moment. So here we've got now our autumn set with that lovely scarecrow and all that fabulous autumnal produce. So this one's by Laura, and then we have this one from Sue, and I love again she's used her triple aperture die. We've got buckets full of mushrooms, pumpkins and acorns, just autumn's bounty. It's beautiful, isn't it? Here we've got an apple barrel coming in with the swing tree and some of the sunflowers. Another one here from Laura. Let me just pop these out of the way. Using the triple aperture on its side. We've got a field of corn, field of sunflowers, and scarecrows looking after them all. And then we've got another one with the triple apertures going vertically. And again, setting the scene with all those gorgeous little details. Here we have one which doesn't use the window either. Again, we've got the picket fence, we've got the sunflowers and all those lovely autumnal elements, and that was from Sharon, and this one I believe is Sharon as well, and Sharon's created a lovely little calendar with our gorgeous scarecrow and autumn scene. And then a few from Sue herself. Absolutely love that one with the sunflower field and the scarecrow, etc. And again, buckets absolutely full of gorgeous autumn harvest. And then this one's from Ian, and he's done a lovely pumpkin patch with sunflowers, a scarecrow, and this is using the wood grain stamp from jamierodgerscrafts. So that's your autumn scene. Hopefully that's given you some ideas. And finally, we come to our beautiful Christmas scene. And this is, as I say, this collection takes you right through the year. Looking in through the window, we've got a warm looking fireplace with our stockings hung ready. Again, with the window box this time, and our cheeky little snowman outside. We have a lovely one here from Laura, giving us a Christmas scene, using some of the paper that came in the stack. Oh, Jackie's having trouble finding the link for the stockists. Can anybody out there help, please, with that? Yeah, so use your scrapbook papers or your designer papers to create backgrounds through the windows as well. That's a really lovely way to create a scene, isn't it? And then again, we've got our triple aperture card coming in, featuring some of those little elements. A lovely card here from Sharon. I really like this one as well. I like them all. I'm not playing favourites, but I just love some of the ideas just just speak to me. We've got our window and we've got our snow scene through the window, but this one actually opens and you've got a fabulous snowy field with trees. I love that. And we've got that lovely tree done as a snowy tree. Here we have one by Ian. Again, frosty on the trees, the foliage, the window box, but we've got those fabulous Christmas scene elements in there as well. Then we have a shaker card, always difficult to show on screen, but this is full of the sprinkles that Francoise brought out with her Christmas collection. And in here we've got a tree and our snowman, and it's blowing a blizzard out there. And this one's by Laura. This one is by Ian, and he's got a snowy sky. Again, I believe that paper's from the pad that came out with Rodney. We've got curtains, we've got a wreath hung up there, just gorgeous. And another one here from Sharon. And we've got, again, a lovely snowy outside scene with trees and our little snowman. So there we go. That's your Christmas scene. Aren't they fabulous? And as I say, so much scope for creativity that you can just let yourself run. I think it's brilliant. So let me tell you where you can get these from. These are stockists who have already ordered, and thank you so much, Jamie. He's just put the link up in the comments there to go and take you to the stockist list. But that's the general stockist list. So the people that we know, because they've ordered this particular collection, are as follows. So we have Glitter Bits Crafts and Gifts, Affordable Crafting, Into Craft, Jilly's Crafts, Anne Coleman Crafty Card Making, who I believe is new to us, Craft Mania, and of course it is still available through Hobby Maker, although how much of it is still there I don't know, but they did have stock of it. So if that's your only resource, you would be able to find some of it there as well. All right, so those are the people that we know have got it in at this current moment. Oh, thanks. Okay, Jackie, good. That's brilliant. If you are out and about in Sheffield on the 31st, I am going to be at Unicorn Crafts, and they will have this collection on the day, and I will be demonstrating more with this collection on the day, as well as something else that I can't tell you about. And I might as well be playing around with the crafty concoctions a little bit. So lots of inspiration, lots of techniques to share with you. And again, if you are there, please do pop in. There'll be bargains to be had. There'll be dies of the day, I think. Who knows? There could be all sorts happening. But 10 till 4, Unicorn Crafts in Sheffield. I'd love to see you there. I'm very excited. I'm back on the road. It's dead good. Yay! So if any of our stockists are watching tonight and you fancy having a demo day, then you can book me to come and visit your shop. Or if you haven't room in your shop, you maybe have a village hall or something like that nearby, or a church hall where you could hold it. Have a word with Jamie and Pete and they'll sort you out. And it's brilliant. It's such a lovely day, and it will really get your customers interested. So have a think about that. If you're a stockist and you're watching, that would be amazing. All right, so shall we have a bit of inspiration? That would be nice, wouldn't it? Let me go back to my other little spot. Here we go. I'm going to show you, first of all, some of the cards I've already done, because I did have some different ideas, which is always good, isn't it? So this one, I used the shutter to create a radiator. I started off with this one. I was obsessed with this one. Oops, sorry, apologies. I cut the shutter in half. Well, I shortened it more than half, but made a small radiator to go in the living room. That was the first one I did. And popped it on the wall. I thought, oh, that's quite a nice idea. I like that. And then when I did this one, I thought, well, I'll use the whole thing as a big a big long radiator, because in this country we have our radiators under the windows, don't we? Trying to keep warm. And then I turned the tree into a cherry blossom. This is a spring scene. And I've also used a stamp, a Jamie Rogers Crafts stamp, to create wallpaper. So again, if you're thinking about that, if you've got stamps that would do that for you, it's a lovely way to create a different background. Okay, so that's just the first couple. Then I did my spring scene, and I created a summer sky. Sorry, a summer scene. Created a summer sky using Crafty Concoctions. These are brilliant inks. They are water-based, strong, concentrated, absolutely fabulous. Still learning lots about them. And I just used two here, compound leaf and cobalt compound, with lots of water to create a paler effect, and then used bleach on cotton wool to create the sky. I did demonstrate this on TV, so if you want to watch that, I think it is still available on Hobby Maker, and it was on Sunday at 4 PM and 7 PM, so you can still watch the shows back if you wanted to see a little bit more of what I got up to while I was there. And then, excuse me a minute, with this one I took the panels that had come out of some of the windows I'd cut and turned them into wall panelling, and then created a dado at the top there as well. So there are lots of ways you can make this collection go further for you. And then another one that I've had fun with was this one, which got everybody very excited apparently. Well, this was an in and out card. So we're looking at the inside, we're looking in through the window. We've got our window box and we've got all our details. I've created a skirting board, and then I scored the card to create wainscoting. I don't know if we can pick that up, possibly not. Oh, just a bit there, you can just about see it. And then a dado. So we've got our panelling. I cut two tables and joined them in the middle where you couldn't see the join because of the window. I made a wider, like a console table. And then I made a little lamp and some vases and the chandelier, and I just folded up some of Jamie's linen texture paper to create a little blind. And this was the gingham paper from Francoise. And then I thought, wouldn't it be fun if you could see out of the same room at the same time? So hence the inside out card, because when you turn the card open, you've got the same room with the same wainscoting, the same wallpaper and the same blind, but this time we're inside the room and we're looking out onto this autumn scene. And we've got the backgrounds done with the inks, and we've got lots of sunflowers, lots of autumn leaves, and somebody's been busy raking them up. We've also got, you can see the sprigs from the flowers that are in the window box. You can see them through the window as well, the back of them. So it's kind of back and front of the same window. And I had a lot of fun doing that. It boggled my mind a bit, but I got my head around it and I thought, yeah, I really like that idea and I really need to do it. And that's how it happens, isn't it? You just get a bee in your bonnet. Well, I do, about something, and I think, oh, I have to do that. So there's a few of mine, and what I'd like to do now is this one. So we've gone all snowy and wintry on this one. So we've got our swing tree. We've also got windowsill accessories. We've got some of the living room accessories, and then we've got our inside of our living room looking out through the window. So this is the first one I want to sort of guide you through tonight. So let's get going. I'm just going to make myself a bit of room here. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to start with is creating my background scene here. Okay. And for that I need a couple of inks. Well, actually I only need one ink, which is the cobalt compound. I also need some water and some brushes, which I have here. and then I can get cracking. So the first thing I want to do is add a spot of the cobalt compound into my palette, and you don't need very much of this at all. It's very concentrated. I'm not going to wet the card because I want to create a clean snow line. So I'm just going to add a little bit of water with my brush. So this is going to be quite concentrated, maybe a wee bit more than that. And then I'm just going to paint the sky. So look at that glorious colour, isn't it gorgeous? And when you paint with these, I'm not kidding, there is no brush marks left at all. They blend away. It's fabulous, absolutely fabulous. So not that it really matters on this occasion because I'm going to do something else in a minute. Oops, there we go. Alright, so I've been able to get a really clean snow line by not wetting the card. If I'd wet the card, the ink would have moved and carried on bleeding down into this section, and I didn't want that to happen. Alright, so let me just clean up my desk. Very easy to clean, just with water. And then I'm going to get another brush and I'm going to splatter. Okay, I'm going to create some drops of snow. So I've wet my brush and now I'm going to tap onto my background. And create a snowy sky. So I'm just using a normal paintbrush, but I'm hitting it quite hard with something else. You can use a fan brush if you've got one. Can you see that developing? And then you can take this to whatever level you want. I mean, you have to be a bit careful, otherwise you do end up looking a bit like you're in the middle of a blizzard. But it's quite fun. So I'm happy with that, so I'm just going to blot it now and lift off some of that colour. So there we are, we've got a little snowy sky for our background. Alright, that was easy, wasn't it? I'm sure everybody can manage that. Okay, so I'll pop that to dry. I have got one I did earlier, which is here. Okay, and you can really see now that's dry, how that's developed. So that's just a bit of ink and a bit of water, that's all it is. Nothing too complicated, hopefully. Alright, so let's start building our scene. Oh, lots of bits here. This was just really to show you the sorts of things I have hanging about, because I always keep my bits, and this collection, more than any, is going to help you use up all your bits. So scraps of card, scraps of paper, a bit of card that I'd sprayed on, and it's come in really handy now. I've used it for flowers, I used it for the cat, all sorts of things. So I'm sorry, but you need to keep all your scraps now. You can't throw anything away, as if we did anyway. But now it's even worse. But actually it's a great way to use them up if you have already been keeping them. Alright, so let's start building. I've already started on the outside of the card with some gingham for the wallpaper. Now that on its own is a bit much, so I decided we needed to divide the wall and create a bit of panelling or something. So that's a wee bit longer than I need it to be. Let me just trim a little bit off. So I'm just going to mark it there. And then I would have done it on my trimmer if I had my trimmer handy. But that's not too bad. There we go. So again, easy ideas but very effective for this type of project. So I'm going to attach this now. I will show you the products I had on Hobby Maker to go with this collection, because I think they really lend themselves to it so well. And it may be that you've already got them, or it may be that you want to get your hands on them if you think they'd be useful. So this was a double-sided pack of card, and it was one of Sue Wilson's from a little while back, and it's a Christmas pad. Let me show you. So that's the stamp I was on about earlier, the DL stamp. It's called Floral Vines, and I'm sure a lot of the stockists will have this available. So that's the first one. I use that to create wallpaper. This is the pack I'm now talking about, which is Festive Shades paper pad by Sue Wilson, and this has got 20 different colours on the 10 colours double-sided sheets, so 20 colours, and that's fabulous, because especially when you're wanting lots of shades of green, for instance, for your foliage, you've got 4 greens, you've got 4 reds, you've got 4 sort of blues, sort of aquas and tealy colours, and then your pinks and plums. It's a fabulous pad for doing all of these little elements, and I've used this ever such a lot in all my projects. And also it's white core, so it's white in the middle, so if you emboss it with an embossing folder or with a stencil and then sand the top off, the pattern will pop out in white. So that will be another great way to create wallpaper. Hi Jeffrey, happy Thursday to you. And then this is the woodware pad, Jolly Christmas by Françoise. And what Françoise is really clever for doing with her paper pads is she gives you a Christmas design on one side, because these again are double-sided, but then on the other side she gives you something that's neutral, so it could be used for anything. And on this occasion they were all gingham papers, and I thought, well, that's fine for walls, isn't it? You can have check wallpaper, why not? So that's where all the accessories came from, and just in case you were wanting to know, that's what I used. Okay. Now I did make a garden wall from the fireplace for this, but I've lost it, so we'll do it without, it'll be fine. So what I'm going to do is place my window where I want it to be, and then I've got the bottom of the window here cut again. So what I do, I just cut this bit and then cut it off right across from these points here to give me a panel which I've used for skirting boards, dado rails and extra windowsills. So that's what I've used for this, and I'm just going to add this now to my wall. I don't need all of it. Oh, let's get this on. Where's my little glue? Here we are. So this is just going to make the windowsill continuous, and it's up to you whether you have the line at the top or the bottom, it really doesn't matter. Just tuck that into the paper. Oops. Try not to do what I just did and slide it along. Right, I'm not liking that because I didn't cut it straight. I'll use that one. That's it. Put this on this side. Okay. So you see, you only need one extra windowsill to create the rest of the dado, because the window then is going to go over the middle, like so. Okay, so back to our outside scene now, and we're going to start to create our winter scene. So we've got our tree, and you can add a little bit of ink to this, and I've added some glitter and bits and bobs like that. You can do whatever you want to make it look however you want it. And then I've got all these other little bits that I've already cut out. All sorts of bits and pieces, look. Is it fun? So I tend to keep my window frame handy so that I can position things where I want them. And I'm going to start by getting that tree in place. Oops. I've cut this from Craft Brown, and you could add more ink to this should you want to. It's entirely up to you. I think I want it about there, but just check with your window how things are going to sit so it looks right. Okay, and then I'm going to pop the little bird on the branch. He's come looking for food. Blackbird. And I've cut a couple of little leaves. I cut these from the linen paper as well, which honestly I've used such a lot. It's come in so well for this collection. All those little bits of texture. And I just wanted to add a couple of little leaves that were just hanging on for the last breath of winter. So we'll have one there and one up here on this branch. I'm using my sticky pickup tool. Was the best thing ever for this, picking up all these little things. Again, just check back with your window that you've got things where you want them. That's not too bad. And then I've cut out the rope for the tyre from Craft and the tyre from Black. The detail on this tyre is something else. It's brilliant. So I just need to gauge where that wants to sit. And then we can attach it. Okay. So I'm going to put the rope on the tree first. Have that hanging down. Then I can pop the tyre in place. Just tuck it under there. And then I can just secure the rest of the rope. I'm just going to lift the end up. Oops. And attach it. You could have it already assembled and then just decide where you want it after that. It's entirely up to you. But it's really easy to do either way. She says, making a pig's ear of it. Alright, so we've got our little scene done now. As I say, you can add glitter and snow. If you wanted to, you could use a white pen or the white, is it Catalyst White, and just paint a little bit into the angles of the tree. I do find with this particular ink it needs a good shake. Get it mixed. Oh, sorry, there's a whole conversation going on that I wasn't paying attention to. Thanks, Jamie. Can't get stuff, can you? So I'm going to wipe my brush, but then I'm going to take the water off. The only reason I do that is to keep the brush into a nice shape. If you use a dry brush, it's going to splay all over the place. Okay, so just add a little bit of kind of snow. Make sure your background's dry as well before you start to do this. And then you just kind of put a little curve in the angles of the branches where snow would sit. Can you see what I'm doing? Just in the angle. And then put like a little curve on it like that. Where the snow's just settled. And you can do that in all of the little spots. So this ink, it will disappear slightly into the blue, but it will come alive once you add your sparkle to that, if that's what you want to do. If you really want it white, then probably use something like a gesso. But even that will pluck colour out from the background, so you may need to give it a couple of coats. Alright, but what we don't want is blue snow, so. And then I'm going to put a little bit on there. And a little bit on here. Where it's settled. Okay, and that's it. Let that dry, and then I'll add some sparkle to that. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to start assembling some of my living room bits and pieces. So I have here one of the vases from the windowsill accessories, and I've cut it in gold cardstock because I wanted a brass pot, and then I've cut it in green. This was the crushed velvet paper. Then I've cut the little blossoms from that sprayed piece of card that I had. So what I need to do now is mount this on top and cut away what I don't need, so I can find the lines because it's embossed in there. So I can just cut roughly, you don't have to do it really accurately, just try to maintain the leaves. Okay, because you've got your blossoms to go on top of that, so that's fine. You can stick that in place. Just do be careful when you're positioning things on top that you hide the colour underneath. There's nothing worse than being able to see what's behind it. Or if it's difficult, you can always snip some of it away that's behind. Once you've got your top piece ready, you can snip away, but it does help you with positioning if it's there. So just take a bit of time to get that absolutely in the right spot. Okay, and then we can start to add our blossoms. So I'm going to add the little ones first up here, and then the bigger ones at the front down here. Again, this type of thing is going to be your best friend. So I'll have one there, and we'll have a little one, and then we'll have the bigger ones down here. See, it's easy peasy. It's just a bit time consuming, but I don't mind. Sometimes I like to lose myself in what I'm doing, and doing this sort of thing, it's just great because you find yourself completely and utterly relaxed and zoned out, and that can't ever be a bad thing, I don't think, can it? We've got enough crazy going on in our lives. Alright, so there we are. I'll let that set, and we've got a sweet little bowl of flowers. Look, just out of scraps, and yet look at that gorgeous little embellishment. Fabulous, isn't it? I've got my little cat. Now that came from the sprayed piece of card as well, and I just want to enhance some of the detail on the cat. So I've got a fine liner pen, and the lines are embossed, so I can just put my pen nib in the line and it does the work for me. So it's got a cute little nose and its little smiley mouth, and then its whiskers, and that's all you need to really worry about. It gives enough to give it some personality without having to spend hours doing it, and there's one there that's just cut. Alright, so there's our little cat now with a bit more detail to it. Can you tell I'm having a right good time here? And then I've got my lamp, and I've cut that in brass, or well, it was gold cardstock, but I wanted a brass lamp. And then I've cut it again from the crushed velvet paper to get the shade. And then all I'm going to do is cut straight across there to get rid of the stand. And then again, put the shade on top to make the lamp. Now you don't have to do any of these extra steps. You could just cut it in a single colour, or you can colour it with pens. Cut it out of a pale cardstock and colour with your favourite colouring pens. Could be alcohol markers, could be water brush markers, or you could even paint it, depending what you like to do. So there's really something for everybody here to create the look that you want. So there's my little lamp. I'm just going to collect my leaves. I've got some spare leaves. Might come in for something then. Don't waste them. Alright, so I think I've got all my elements now. I've got my flowers, my lamp and my cat. I can start to put this scene together. So, let's just clear some space. I'm going to put my window over this first. So I need to do my glitter. I'm going to use a glue pen. And I'm just going to go along the snow line. With this quickie glue pen. And then sprinkle on some fine diamond glitter. You could use a glitter glue for this. You could use Jamie's gemstone paste. You could use anything you've got in your stash that you like to use to create snow. So I'm going to add some to all those little bits I painted before as well. And in here where I put the white pen, which has faded, but it'll be enough to stop it looking blue. And then just around the bottom of the tree as well, we'll have a little bit on here. And that's all you need to do really. Just gives the illusion of a bit of snow happening. Okay, so we've just got a lovely subtle little sparkle happening there, and I just need to trim off that that stray branch that's sticking out. Just get rid of that. Okay, we're ready to go, and I've already got foam on the back of my window. I'll just take the backings off that. Again, I don't tend to take them all off till I know where I want it to sit. So you can always go back and take them off afterwards. So I just want to make sure I can see all those little elements. And then, see it's already gone wonky. Pop it down. Alright, a bit wonky, but I can trim that bit off. Oh, I made a mess of that, didn't I? See if I can get it off again. Sorry folks, making a mess tonight. Just be careful you don't rip everything. Oh dear, that's better. Try again. There we are, that's better. Okay. And then we can pop that onto our room scene. And then we've got our little cat to go on the windowsill. And the table is like a little side table now, because it's, when you're looking outside in, it looks smaller as a little table in the living room. But because we're outside, looking out rather from inside, then it makes the table look very small. So it's just like a little side table. So it does work either way. We're going to have our little lamp just sitting on the table there, and then our bowl of flowers over on this side, like that. And there you've got your little winter scene, looking out your window onto the snow. And all very simple to do. I think you could all achieve something similar, hopefully, and have a lot of fun on the way. Okay, and there's my original one, which I did, as I say, I made a stone wall out of the fireplace, but that's just another little extra detail. Alright, so I have another one. If you're still with me, I've got a Christmas one this time. And again, I was looking at the products and thinking, how can we use them differently? What, you know, bring the changes kind of thing. So I've used the garden fence and made it look like wrought iron railings. And I have used the chandelier to create little outside lamps, little wall lights. So shall we have a look at this one? So again, lots of bits and pieces. One thing I did want to mention to you, and this was something that Sue messaged me about because it's a fab idea and I'd forgotten all about it. We do it with various dies when we need to get a backdrop to them and there isn't a separate die to cut the backdrop. We cut two together. So if you get two pieces of card and then get the window die, so imagine these are two plain pieces of card, and you pop your window die on and you run them both through the machine at the same time. Okay, and what happens is it will cut the first one, but it won't cut the second one. It will just mark it out. And then this is really useful to use as like a template for positioning. So you saw me with my swing tree having to put the frame back on to see where things were sitting. Well, if you've got this as a template, it's really easy to see where they're going to sit. So it's good for working out your plan for your room. Alright, so that was just a quick thing I wanted to mention. So I've got my window and I've got my window blinds. Now, I talked about this as well on Sunday. This particular die set is from the Border collection. It's the ornate lattice. Again, I'm sure there are stockists out there who will have this or something similar, but I just found this absolutely perfect for creating all the pelmets and blinds and all that sort of thing at the window, because it's got so many different edges and you can use them in lots of different ways. So I just thought this was a treat to work with for this collection. So for this particular blind, I used this edge and its cutting edge. So this will cut the pattern into the card. It won't come out as a separate shape until you add a cutting edge to it. And this is the bottom edge that I've added to this one. And this is the result. So we've got the cut edge at the bottom, but the pattern just goes into the blind in this instance. It doesn't cut it out separately. So it leaves it with a nice lacy edge. And I thought that was perfect for adding those little details. So have a look for that one with your Stockists CED 7154 if you fancy having a go at some window dressing. So I've done my blind and I've done that again out of the linen paper, and I've put the blind on the window frame first before I put my foam on the back, so that the blind is sitting against the window. Okay. Now I've got a piece of card here, and I've scored it. I don't know if you can see this, but I've scored it in like a brick bond pattern. So every 5/8 of an inch across, and then stepped it halfway, so you get this, it looks like stonework. It's really difficult to show, but you can do any sort of pattern you like to make it look like stone, can't you? And then I've got, again, some stripy paper that's going to be the wallpaper in the living room. Alright, smart, isn't it? And then I'm going to, again, I always feel I need carpet when I'm making a room scene. So I'm going to add some carpet using the crushed velvet paper, which is perfect because it's got that lovely texture in it. And it just works really well for carpet. Alright. And then again, I need, what have I done with it? Skirting board. Bear with me a sec. I've got one somewhere. Here we are. So I've cut the bottom of the window again. And I've got a fireplace. So I've cut the fireplace. I've also cut a piece of black to go at the back of the fireplace to make the fire back. And then I decided that the grate needed to be black as well. So I've cut that again in black and just cut it away from the rest of the fireplace. So I can just mount this on top with a tiny bit of glue. And then I can have my black grate in the fire. But again, if that's a step too far for you, that's fine. Just colour it with a pen or paint or something if that's what you want to do. You don't have to go to these lengths, but I, as I've said, really enjoyed the whole process, and it just helped me to zone out completely. I just got completely lost in the process. So now I've got a little fireplace with a cast iron backing. I've got the fire. This actually comes off the Christmas set as well as the fireplace does. And I want to put that in first before I put the fire back on. So let's get a little bit of glue for that just to hold it. And we can get that in place. And I've just coloured that. You've got lines embossed on it that help you put your colour into different areas if you're not sure, you're not confident. And I've just used shades of yellow, orange and red, and then you put a little bit of a sparkly pen in there just to give it a bit of a glow. Isn't it effective? I love that. Alright, and then we can put our fire back in. And then we've got our fireplace done. So let's pop that over the back. And there you have a lovely little fireplace. Again, lots of scope for dressing it up in different ways. Different coloured surrounds. You could do some inking on this, whatever you want. But I was happy with it just looking like that. So now I'm going to snip these bits off because I know where my fireplace needs to sit, and those bits will just stick out. So I'll get rid of them. And I'm going to add my fireplace first before I add my, well no, I'm going to put the skirting board so it goes behind the fire, but I just want to get the position right first. Okay, so a little bit of the skirting board, which is actually the windowsill, as I've said before, and make sure you get that nice and snug up to the carpet. That's fine. Snip off that extra, which we'll do for another one. Got enough there for another one. Similar. I've got a box I keep all my little bits in now, And then I get to the point where I can just dig in and find what I need. I've got so many little extras. It's great. Get the fireplace down. And just tuck that in there. You do need to check your positioning when you're doing this sort of thing. So always have your window frame handy. Make sure you're going to be able to see that. That's cool. And then I've got the rocking chair that I've cut in just a dark brown, and I'm going to pop that to this side of the fireplace. You could also add the standard lamp. There's a little stack of books you could have on the table. There's all sorts of things. It's really fun. Let's get that just sitting on the carpet there. And just going off to one side. Alright, and now we can put our window frame in place. So I'll try and get it straight this time. So that's going to go there. Just pop the middle down. So you're not sat watching me peel all those off. So you decide how much carpet you want to show and everything, and then just where that window frame is going to sit. And I'm happy with it like that. That's cool. That flame's coming right out of the fireplace. Better stick it down. We don't want a disaster, do we? Okay. So now we've got our living room with a lovely fireplace, a chair, some carpet and a blind going on. All done with bits of paper. I think this is what makes paper craft so incredible. It's gorgeous, isn't it? Okay. Now then, I've gone back to my stone wall, brick wall, whatever it is, and I'm just going to get things in place. I've created the railings out of some black graphite foundations cardstock, which is available, and I've extended the die by running it only partly through the die cutting machine. So this is how long the die is. So what I've done, I've cut the first piece from the end and I've stopped rolling at about here because I didn't want to cut this edge. And then once you've started that, you can move the die along, but you have to remember that you don't want to cut either end. So what I did, this was the bit I'd already cut, snap it back into place over the last couple of bars, and then you get your cutting plate and you only start it there, it's going that way, so it can't cut this end, and then you only roll it to there and you stop before it can cut that end, and you just keep doing that, and you can extend that then to as long as you want. And that's how I've done that. Okay. Oh, where's it gone? Oh, it's in. So that was from the garden accessories, but I've cut it out of black, so as I say, it looks like wrought iron. Then I've cut these lovely ferns from jamierodgerscrafts, and that's a set that come with 5 all on one plate. They cut all at the same time, and I've cut them out of the green crushed velvet paper because it's just perfect for this. I've already started to add a few little sprigs onto my railings, but I want to get these in place before I continue with that. I've also created a little snowy snowdrift, if you like, that's happening outside the window. So there we go. That's sort of where it's going to be. So I think what I'll do, I'm going to stick this to the back of this first. That's probably easiest, isn't it? I just have to make sure I get it in the middle ish. So yeah, so I'm going to stick that on there. Can you see? Just want to make sure I'm getting the foliage in the middle. Just gone a bit too far. I'll come back that way a bit. There we go. That's it. And then you can trim off your excess. Alright, and then we can pop that in place. So I've just got some 2mm foam, so it's got a nice bit of height to it, and I'm going to put that completely level with the bottom edge of the card piece there, like that. And then I should have put a little piece of foam behind there as well to just lift it off, but I'll do that after. I'll put my window down, that's going to go about there, and I'll complete my foliage now. So I've just cut little sprigs and bits and bobs from these so I can fill in this foliage now and make it a little bit fuller. But again, you can dress it up however you like, can't you? I'll have that going up a bit. I've got another one here ready to go. And then you can take off some of the individual little sprigs. Oh, they're all stuck together. And have them going off in different directions. So we can have a couple going up. I mean, I'm rubbish at flower arranging, so I'm sure you can all do a better job than this. I always know when it looks wrong, but not necessarily know how to fix it, which is really frustrating, but that's just the way it is. Right, I'm going to put that just coming down, and then I want one more. And I've got enough little leafy bits left to do several other bits with it, so it's always great when you've got a stash partially done and then you're halfway there for your next job, aren't you? So I always keep those bits and pieces. And then I've made a bow, a little triple bow out of ribbon, and what I need to do is just trim the ends of this and then I can pop that onto my foliage on my fence. So a good amount of glue on that, and that'll just hide all my gubbins. And there we've got our last remnants of Christmas just hanging on the fence there. Pretty. But you'll notice I haven't put anything Christmassy inside the living room. It's that time in January and all the decorations have come down and it's all looking a bit sad. But we've still got this outside, just keeping it pretty. See, I'm making up all these stories in my head while I'm doing it as well. It's quite fun. Then obviously stick your window in place once that's all had time to set. And I want to show you how I made my little lanterns for the sides of the walls. So I've cut the chandelier from the living room out of graphite, so it's black. I then cut another one out of white card. I coloured the middle bits of each lantern and added a white centre, so they've got a little glow in there. And then I cut them off. Just below the joint, so they've got an extra little pokey bit at the bottom. Technical word. There's still one there that can be utilised again for another one. I've got the one I coloured, and I can make another one for the next time. I've got foam pad already on the back of these because it was a bit fiddler, and I need my tweezers for this. And then I can create my little wall lights. So let's put one there. And the other one opposite. Try and get them levelish. Mind you, it's sort of work when we've had lately, they don't get out straight. Right, there we are. And then pop that onto your card blank, and you've got a very posh looking house, haven't we? A bit Georgian, a bit Georgian-esque. Got our little lights outside, and we've got cast iron railings. Love that. Alright, well, that's all I've got for you tonight. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I hope it's given you a bit more inspiration to get cracking on this collection. Have any of you had yours yet? Are you still waiting on it turning up? I bet you can't wait. I'll be itching to get going on that now, because it's just such fun. Well, that's me done. It's been fabulous. I've had a great time. Hope you have. I hope I haven't bored you to tears. But I hope you get the idea that anything goes with this collection. Mix and match across the sets. Track them down with our fabulous stockists. I'll just remind you again who has definitely got this in stock, who's already ordered it, probably already got it. Glitter Bits Crafts and Gifts, Affordable Crafting, Into Craft, Gillies Crafts, Anne Coleman Crafty Card Making, Craft Mania, and of course Hobby Maker, if they have any stock left. So do track them down. If your local stockist doesn't have it, you could perhaps have a word and ask them if they're going to get it. Otherwise, all the goodies are available from Craftmania as well. So thank you so much for joining me and for spending some time with me. It's been really lovely, and look forward to Jamie's on Monday with another sneaky peek of a brand new collection. And next Thursday, don't forget my playtime. Get your questions in on Creative Expressions page, and I'll try to keep an eye out for those, or Gwen Fletcher Crafts page, and then I can prep some responses to any of your crafty queries. Please keep it relevant to Creative Expressions and Jamie Rogers Crafts and Woodware, and I'll do my best to help you out, and Crafty Concoctions of course as well. So if you've got a burning question, or if there's something that you're not getting on with very well, you want to know how do I do this, what am I doing wrong, or whatever it might be, I will do my best. So once again, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless, and I'll see you soon.